nothing micro about Micronesia. We have big families, we have big minds, and we have big hearts. Micronesia is a term some European explorer assigned to us on a map. But our people are more than just dots on a map. We've been given the big responsibility to steward the Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on the planet Earth. Micronesia makes over 2,000 islands that span the Pacific. It is wider than the US continent. There is nothing micro about us. Micronesia is more than just the FSM, the Federated States of Micronesia, which includes Kosrae, Pohnpei, Juk, and Yap. Micronesia stretches all the way from the Republic of Palau to the Republic of the Marshall Islands on the other. Hey, and don't forget Guam and Saipan.
Hawaii!
The Republic of Nauru, the Republic of Kiribati. Oh, too many islands to name. I could not name them all here. Our people are so diverse in language and in culture that when you ask us, are you Micronesian? You get this blank look. Because we would say we are
Chukis,
or
Kushayan,
or
Mashalis,
or Pohnpeian. And then we would say, hey, what island you from?
Lukunas,
Kushayan,
What
Majuro,
And what part of the island?
Lugala.
Melim,
Tunuk?
Shoot, I don't know.
With all this beauty and pride, why would we leave our islands? Why would we leave our beautiful homes? We are masters of the currents, ocean navigators. It's in our blood to travel the globe. Yet, we all yearn to return home. But these days, some of us cannot, for some of our islands are disappearing. Some of our islands have been destroyed by US nuclear bomb testing. Boom! And in exchange, they offer us the COFA agreement, which promised us to rebuild, to educate, and to medicate.
Boom, 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 boom.
Broken promises. And so we must leave. Micronesia to Hawaii are thousands of miles away. You can fly from Guam or Saipan, or you can island hop from Kosrae to Pohnpei to Marshall Islands all the way to Honolulu, Hawaii. Now, in the old days, we would sail everywhere because the ocean is our highway. We would paddle in our canoes from island to island, just like this. Everybody ready? Paddles up. Amua!
Nale!
Amua!
Nale!
Amua!
Nale!
Amua!
Nale!
Hello! And we arrive in Honolulu, Hawaii. Now, let me introduce you to Eva.
Hi.
And that is Alonso.
How's it?
I was born and raised here in Hawaii, but my mom is from Kushayan and my dad is from Pohnpei.
I was born in the Marshall Islands and came here when I was 8 years old.
Now, they're in Hawaii because
Both my parents, they came here for jobs, college, but they stayed for my education.
I came here because my mom and grandpa need medical treatment.
now, let me introduce you to Sosofina.
We also call her So-So.
She just arrived here from Chok.
And then,
Hey, don't be shy. You see, growing up in Hawaii is good fun. I live up in Papakolea, and every day after school, we play basketball, football, Any kind. Good fun.
And you see, Hawaii is a whole lot better than wherever it was you came from. Because whatever you like, you can get. Just go to the store and buy food, clothes, shoes.
Medicine?
Yeah, and medicine. In fact, you don't even have to wait a whole week to get it.
And we have toilets in the house. All you gotta do is...
You mean no visual like I don't have to paddle all the way to the mangroves in the middle of the night just to do my business?
Oh,
No.
what? Yeah.
And it's more sanitary. And plus, we've got strong Wi-Fi.
Hey, watch this. Oh. Guys, oh.
I got mine.
Oh, yes, this is my phone. Let's go. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, look at all beautiful people.
Nice.
See?
Whoa, that was fast.
You see, you can never get bored here in Hawaii. There's so much to do. I mean, we've got the mall. We even have McDonald's.
This is like the go-to island.
Oahu specifically. All you gotta do is just get on the bus, and it'll go just about anywhere.
We call it the community bus. Saint Aterengues.
Saint Aterregues.
Mm-hmm.
All clans bus?
Yeah.
Because everybody takes it.
You see young people, old people,
Chinese people, Japanese people, Howdy people.
Samoa and Tongan and Hawaiian.
Oh, everybody takes the bus. And so, the best thing of all, you're so gonna love school.
Yeah! Wait!
Make friends.
What? No! Don't believe her. School is boring.
Excuse me, Alonso. I love school.
Because you get good grades.
And you could too if you studied.
One thing though, so. Don't wear the shower curtains in school.
Alonso,
What?
Shower curtain?
he's talking about your skirt.
No! My grandma made this for me before I left the island. Tells our family story. I have to wear it so I can take her with me to school.
Hey, shit. Don't wear it if you don't want to get beat up.
And another thing, so. Try working on your English. My suggestion, only speak English and never speak your island language. I mean, it is the only way to learn English fluently.
Especially if you want to get good grades. Like Eva.
Thanks, Alonso.
Anytime, no problem.
So, I know you're gonna do great, okay? I'll see you at school. Bye.
Get it? See you later. Time to go meet the boys at the courts. Hey, no worries, beef curry.
Beef curry?
When I was a boy, I would go to the mangroves to catch my meals. Woo! Fresh sashimi every day. The water was so clear, I could catch them with my bare hands. But then things changed, and they came in, and they started to fill the mangroves with cement and started to build stores that sold canned fish. They couldn't let the mangroves alone. How do you fish for fresh fish in dry cement?
Same boat, we all in the same boat. Same boat, we all in the same boat. My friend Jermaine and I, we in the same boat. He is from Samoa. But I, from the Marshall Islands. Marshall Islands. When we get here, we in the same boat. Because they say we cannot speak English. English. ESL. ESL. Same boat. Same boat. We all in the same boat.
So I got on the bus, and I'm sitting there when these two Micronesian ladies got on the bus. And then these two local guys got on the bus. They see these Micronesian ladies, and they yell,
Hey! You Micronesians, get off the seat!
What? Not carrying a sign?
Get
Get
off
off the bus!
I'm sitting there watching this. I wanted to do something, but I don't know what to do. I'm Micronesian. They're Micronesian. I'm Micronesian. They're Micronesian.
I'm Micronesian. They're Micronesian. I'm Micronesian. They're Micronesian. Same boat. Same boat. We all in the same boat.
English. English second language.
English second language.
You second. You second. Never, ever first.
Only second. Crash. Same boat. Same boat. We all in the same boat.
Avoita, epuire bubutan, elsmettas me fokul, murinne feliten kids on Micronesia, metsiaske trakanesikits.
I hope this could be the beginning of something good for all our people of Micronesia and all our friends and supporters.
Sisa fokun menukara, ekeo virit askeoreo rai the kids, not askeoreo ready, meronabura rabas. Sibweti bepek, agetsu, ekitsu, feliten nutske traverde.
We must never forget the wisdom of our ancestors through our cultures and traditions. Let us be one heart, one movement, working together, one thought for the growth of the next generation.
Idai wase wafetu, sibwefetu pek, eki, wesibwetsak el arabas.
We are all in one canoe.
Let us paddle together towards something hopeful, so that we may all be
One people.
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Way, kumu kamane!
Kamane!
Way, kumu kamane!
Kamane!
Kamane kamao!
Kamao!
Kamane kamao!
Kamao!
Hey, musumus kurusudu!
Kurusutu!
Hey, musumus kurusudu!
Kurusutu!
Egun wae tumude!
Etumuse!
Egun wae tumude!
Etumuse!
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Way, kumu!
White canoe!
Sure. Aloha, Sabaidi. My name is Ova Saupang. I was born in Laos, Southeast Asia, and I'm a refugee. And my family ended up in Hawaii, United States, and that's where I was raised. And that's where I actually started my theater career. I began doing theater when I was in 8th grade, and ever since then I've been doing it. And then I moved to California, and that's where I currently live in Los Angeles, California. So, and I play the role of, in the play Masters of the Currents, I play the role of Tamana. So, and I'll pass it on.
My name is Jacelyn. I am Chukis. I was born in Chuk, raised in Hawaii, and currently living in Oregon.
Lepungalam. Itay Ino. My name is Ino. I am from Chuk. Born in Chuk, raised in Guam and Saipan. And I play Tinana on the show.
Hi, good evening. My name is Emerald. I play Eva. I am a Kushian, born and raised, and I'm currently living in Hawaii.
Hafade, Rananim Tiro. I am Gideon Lorette. Nana. Born and raised here in Saipan. It's been 14 years since I've been home. I found my love for storytelling through the Kanaha'unui. It's just a coincidence that my auntie Sel is here. And that I left at 14, moved to Cleveland, Ohio, and I just recently moved a year and a half ago to Los Angeles, California.
Aloha, Hafade. My name is Leilani. Leilani China. I introduced myself first. I'm actually born and raised in Hawaii, ethnically Chinese, Chinese Malaysian, German, Ukrainian. We used to say Russian, but now I know it's Ukrainian. Jewish, raised Japanese, Hawaiian American, and I now live in Los Angeles.
Okay guys, we're all theater people, so we don't really need a microphone. But if you need a microphone, let me know. The floor is open for questions. Can we go ahead and have any? Does anybody have a question? Because I have several, actually. Real quick, I'm going to run over to Roberto.
And I just want to say, we were at Hotwood Junior High School today. We did 3 lecture demos. So if we seem a little spacey tired, that's why. Not this guy, but the rest of us are. So be kind.
Microphone or you?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
So I don't know what the full production looks like or with what you wear. I would love to see the full one. First question, I guess, is when can we? And then, my main question is, what was the process behind what you wear for the production? And is this what you wear when you do the full production?
Should I? Okay, I'll go. This is not what we wear for the full production. There's more costumes.
We wear traditional skirt and blouses, like so-so.
And because the story is about these 3 teens who moved to Hawaii, which is very much modern. Us 3 teenagers are into, modern clothes and such. I have a Yoke shirt.
But we also go ahead.
Sorry, and to go off of what he said, as we did the introduction of us warning So-So not to wear her skirt, my character doesn't wear her skirt. She just wears trousers.
This is what I wear, down below.
But the conversation about the skirts continues throughout the show. So one of the scenes we have is a gathering, and the family is gathering for a funeral where So-So, the roles of So-So and the other 2 kids switch places, and So-So is much more connected to her cultural roots, so she understands the significance of coming together for a funeral and how cultural practices are taught. So there's a whole conversation where she actually forces Eva to put on at least a sarong because she doesn't have her own skirt. And then later on, Tinana tells the story of the skirts for each of the women in the play, and there's a whole scene around what the skirts mean and why each skirt goes to each particular character. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question over here.
Oh, Hafide, welcome to Saipan. I hope you all had a beautiful time in Guahan as well. My question was about the impetus to create this film. I'm just remembering in Hawaii in April of 2021 when a young Micronesian was killed. I remember SciCap and I saw all of the racism that I was unaware of, just reading in the paper the sort of responses from the residents and our Pacific brethren in Hawaii. What was the reasoning behind the creation of this, and what are the hopes in sharing this story?
Yes. Well, we began the development of this work in a long time, way before 2021. We met Mama Eno, I don't even know what year, early 20s, early 2000s, something like that. It's been about 10 years since we first met, and Ova and I met Inocenta, and the story of what was happening in the Micronesian community really resonated for us because we had just finished touring our previous work, which we call Refugee Nation, which is about the Laotian American experience in the US. And all of the things that the Laotian American community had gone through coming to the US just after the Vietnam War era, a lot of it was similarly repeating. And we were actually seeing folks in the Southeast Asian community being perpetrators of these discrimination and prejudices. And we were like, you already forgot what it was like for you to be coming here? I mean, back in those days, the rumors were like, oh, those Laotians and those Cambodians, they're so violent and they don't care about school and they're just very dirty. And I'm like, wow, now they're saying that about Micronesians. And so we felt that Ova and I, as people who were raised in Hawaii, having done this kind of devised theater work where we collect stories from the community and put them up, this was a service we could provide and kokua back to Hawaii, and that would allow us to be able to give back. And so with Mama Ina doing the cultural navigation for us, doing the protocol in the community, and making sure that we talk to the right people, much like how we were doing workshops here, we've been doing workshops at schools, with youth groups, with several different groups through Pacific Voices that Center runs. We work with the youth, we work with the elders, and then through all of that we collected a lot of stories. And what's been interesting about performing this show, we had to put it on hold because of the pandemic, and then we did it at in Los Angeles and Utah. And it's been interesting to perform it because so many themes are even more prevalent now, even though the show was done before, such as the fact that Soso says a story about, I feel like we're at a funeral almost every weekend. That was before the pandemic, because the reason everyone's coming to Hawaii and Guam is health reasons, right? So those health reasons means our rehearsal process was interrupted many times because cast members had to go and do their cultural duties for funerals and things like that. And we were working with Honolulu Theater for Youth, and as we were developing the piece, I was like, am I really putting a funeral in a children's show? But because of everything I learned from Mama Ino, it seemed appropriate. And so we wove that into it. And Alonso's character goes on to be bullied and actually beaten up by his friends. And so that was even before the pandemic. And before I remember Sidecap's murder by Honolulu Police Department. But I know I personally, and I think all of us were very affected by the murder I remember. And probably those who live in Kalihi still at that time, more so than even I. But the connection of that to George Floyd, to the history of Native Hawaiians, is something I'm particularly interested in. And the reason we're here is because we were able to get a grant to start work on a new project that's going to focus more on the school to prison pipeline. So it continues. That's my long answer. Any blanks?
Do you want to say something, Mama Ino?
Well, I'm sorry if I get really emotional. When we were working on Masters of the Current, we were fighting the state for our health care. My father was a dialysis patient, and in a hearing, he told the people that if they move forward with the changes of health care, then we will have to take care of him 6 foot under. And I sat there in the audience and I was like, not on my watch. And so I began my advocacy for health care. Everywhere we go, we were always being resisted. And nobody really wants to hear our story and listen to the struggles that we were facing. I was standing in front of the court and with my daughter, and cars will go by and they will yell out, "Go home, cockroaches." That hurts. I had my daughter with me. My daughter was born and raised here, but she was called cockroach at that time. I didn't want to continue with that. So we continued to advocate everywhere, but still, there was still resistance in the communication with people. And then one day, I was invited to a retreat, which is for the other folks, and that's where I met Ova and Leilani. And I shared with them what one of our elders said. He said, "We used to be masters of the current, but today we are slaves to the currencies." And that struck my core. And I shared that statement to anybody who will hear me. And Ova heard me. And 3 months or 4 months later, he called me and said, "You remember me? I'm Ova." And I'm thinking, who is Ova? And then I remember, he always introduced himself. How do you introduce himself?
Ova!
I said, "Oh, that Ova." And so from there, he told me that they wanted to give back to Hawaii. They're theater people in LA, but they want to come back to Honolulu, but they cannot figure out which story to take on. And I was thinking, well, this might be another way to tell our story. Because when people don't understand who we are and what we are, why we are even there for, they will continue to, they will continue to hurt us. And we're not there to hurt anybody. We're there so that we can share with each other. We bring our family because they need health care. And especially, I gave up my career here as a police officer to go back and take care of my dad because I'm the eldest in the family. And so being uprooted and changed my career, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here and take care of my dad. But he's so involved in the community, and yet we couldn't even open doors. This was a way to open doors for people to really listen and understand who we were, or who we are, I'm sorry. And that's why we continue to do this show. And even though we all have our careers, and when Ova and Leilani call, we're here because we want to tell our story.
I have 2 questions here. I'm going to start over with Lenny. I'll leave it. No, go, you.
Okay, so I'm going to try and contain my emotions here because Innocent and I have we shared many battle scars in Hawaii over the years. We've shared panels, we've shared screens and such. And so that's so. When we started kind of. I was the guy always with Joe, Kim, Peter, walking down the street, just being a shadow. The amazing Dr. Peter. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys for your performance. That was really amazing. And thank you, for continuing the fight. Many of us have moved away from Hawaii. Many of us have moved on from life, and you continue to fight. So thank you for that. To the 3 young performers, thank you. Because every performance you do on stage, you are admitting that you are Micronesian, and that's not easy in Hawaii. So thank you, and I really, really commend you for your bravery.
I just wanted to say that it's really an honor to be here tonight and to witness this beautiful performance, and it is deeply moving and emotional. But I just I just wanted to ask, I mean, you all live in different places, and you came up with this incredible, show. And again, we're getting, I guess, a glimpse of it, so it is, of course, much longer. I guess my questions are, how long is the full production or performance for Master of the Current? And with you living all in different places, how did you guys come together? How did you start? It's just, you have, everybody living in different places, so how do you come together and come up with something so beautiful? And when do you find time to put this, to practice? Are you on Zoom? I'm just curious, because it's seamless. And you guys did such a powerful performance. So you have to be together for, so just had those questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take that one on. Thank you, Aaron. It is a journey, and definitely it's been many years. For this particular run of the show, to bring it here to Micronesia, in terms of our cast, we all had been together before. This project had started back in 2016. That's the development process of it. And in the development process of this what you're only seeing.
2015, huh? 13, 14.
Yeah. And so just to say that we did community engagement work, had a sharing of kind of the issues that came up from the communities that we learned, from. And then we had several iterations of what you have seen now. And after that, we then kind of basically crafted it further, wrote it with the community, alongside the community, with some doors that were shut to us, with some doors that were open to us. And that's part of the process and the journey that we know that's how. And we're like, there's all these other issues, but then we want to focus on this issue. The play ended up following 3 young Micronesian kids who are struggling to figure out their place in Hawaii and their roots. Like, how do you, hold on to your roots, but also you're in a whole other land and you're kind of connecting. What have you forgotten? What do you hold on to? And so for this round, yes, we did have some Zoom calls. I think Mama Ino and Emerald and Jace have been with the company. We've been doing this show since started touring it in 2018.
It premiered in 2017.
2017, excuse me.
Premiered in 2017 and has now toured for 5 years.
Yeah. And then Gideon came in just recently. He's our newest cast member, playing Alonso, and it's just been like less than a year.
Yeah, I met Nailani over at the Consortium of Asian American Theater Artists. As I've said, I've come from Cleveland, and I was always looking for a way to tell my story. And I met Leilani, where they had a very much Pacific Islander theme. And we got to talking, and through all this time, everyone's always asking me, what's Saipan? Is it in Japan? All these questions, and and because I've danced Polynesian dancing so much, I've just come to identify myself as, I'm Polynesian. Moana, we learned Stitch. But she's like, you're not Polynesian, you're from Saipan, you're Micronesian. I'm like, what? So we got to talking, and we've just stayed in touch through this time.
Yeah, and so for this one, we did Zoom meetings, rehearsing mostly just dialogue, and just memorizing. And then we came together and all met and converged in Guam. And we had that 1 week to rehearse and get everything up. In addition to that, we brought a set piece, which was built by a designer that had started us off at Honolulu Theater for You, which is a canoe. And in the canoe, you just have to imagine a canoe here, the sail is up here, and we also, so in addition to what you see here in terms of our acting and costumes and props, there's also projections of just different images from the islands that really kind of, support the scenes and the story and the feeling. So yeah, that's it, yes. Thank you.
This is for all the cast. How much of your personal lived experiences are in this play?
You start.
where do I start? I don't like talking when it comes to these because I get very emotional. That goes to show that almost the whole show, even if it's not my personal experience, it's still what we all go through. And it's raw. It comes from within. That's why I get so exhausted and so emotional. But yeah.
I grew up in Kushai for most of my life, and my first time ever out of Kushai was 2016, 2017. I went to college in South Carolina, and that was the first time I was really discriminated in front of my face. Of like, I majored in molecular biology, and all my classmates didn't want to be a part of my group or team because I was and they kind of said it in front of my face, you're a girl and you're an islander, what do you know about science? And so there's a part in the play, and I proved them wrong. I mean, the professor came over, he picked my answer to be the right one, so I was like, suck it, people. Anyways, there's a part in the play where my character gets a phone call from her friends, and just not to spoil anything, they just were in shock that she got a better grade than the rest of them and they later found out, oh wait, you're Micronesian. How did you get a better grade than us? Basically in that kind of tone. And I kind of got that when I moved to Hawaii afterwards, because they were like, oh, you're too pretty to be Micronesian. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Like, honestly, you go back to Micronesia, you're gonna see I'm not one of the prettiest ones. If anything, I'll be the ugliest one there. Like, holy cow. But I just want, like, that's pretty much my character and I are exact opposites, but there are moments where, like, and I'm proudly saying this, I grew up loving being Micronesian, I grew up loving being Kushian, and even when I went off to college, I wore my skirt proudly, I wore my muumuus proudly. It wasn't until I moved to Hawaii where I started realizing all this stuff. And as soon as I started realizing it, I joined the theater production group, and I was able to meet other people that went through it as well. So in a way, I was kind of glad I am glad that I grew up in Kushai and was able to like be shielded off of that for a while. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Go, your turn.
It's funny how Alonso is 13 in the play, and I had left Saipan at 14, and just like Alonso had left for medical reasons, I had left because my sister was diagnosed by cancer, which we later found out was a misdiagnosis. Long story. But in that sense of leaving Saipan to Cleveland, Ohio, I just trying to fit in and find my place. I relate very much so with Alonso's journey. But I needed a mentor to Kathleen Johnson to help me immerse myself into the Marshallese culture. And because the Marshallese people and culture is a very unique experience, and it has yet to be told.
What are some positive feedbacks or negative feedbacks after doing the show?
Jeez, are you ready to tell your
I
scripts,
am
Chrissy?
When we debuted the show back in 2017, I was running a youth program. Well, let's backtrack a bit. I grew up in Hawaii at a time where the hatred towards us Micronesians was huge. Young ladies find us being ashamed of wearing our skirts. We would take them off before we leave the house. And so when I started working at this youth center, I seen a lot of myself in the youth that I was serving. So I invited them to the show. they've seen the show, and like Leilani said, the story also, there's more of the skirt in the story. And the next day, the girls came in, and they pranced in with their skirts. They wore to school, and they came in after school to the center with their skirts. And I see the huge difference. And they're like, Miss, look, we wore our skirts. And from then on until today, they started a tradition of, it's called traditional wear Friday. I don't remember if it was Friday or Thursday. But every Friday they would wear their skirts to school. And I would wear mine to work. And we just continue the Friday traditional wear. It's huge. And at the same time, I had a coworker, Hawaiian now, and he brought his kids to work one day. And when we were doing the school shows in Hawaii, we've had several Hawaiian immersion schools that brought in their kids. And he brought his kids to the center, and they see me and they recognize me. They're like, so. I didn't know they were if they came to see the show. But, they're these Hawaiian kids, and they're like, it's just so sad that people would be mean to you. And that hit me. It hit me. And when the Hawaiians come in to see the show and they chant their chants, it hit me. And when I come to Saipan and I see the unity, it also hit me. It's rare. It's refreshing to see that. And I commend you all. Your brothers and sisters in the diaspora, we need your support.
Are there any other questions? Bertha?
What is it like integrating this conversation and this experience into the Hawaiian current events with the Native Hawaiian movement and the ongoing pressure of the military over there and them being naturally very defensive about sharing their space? Is that a ground that you ever have the chance to come to together and discuss where your movements intersect?
I can answer a little bit to that, because prior to us starting our work with Masters of the Current, there are still protocols that needed to be done. And I've been doing protocols before that, just within the community, so that we can be able to do things. And I am the one that makes all the mistakes. I would jump into project and then later on find out that I didn't do it properly and I wasn't successful because I didn't do my protocol. So I learned my mistake through that. But I'm proud to say that we are the second group of our generation that literally did Hawaiian protocol, where we went to their elders and we bring what we need to bring and we protocol them and let them know that our presence in Hawaii is not to be conflicted. We've had histories that is not in the book. We have histories together that is relevant to what is going on today with the navigation, and our elder literally helped them to get back to what is important. And I share in a gathering where there are many elders from different places when Obama came to Hawaii and they had that APEC meeting, but there was also a cultural gathering that many people didn't know existed. And I was part of that gathering. And I feel so honored to share some of the stories that I know of. And open up spaces with our cousins. Because I was, introducing myself. I said, my name is Innocenta Sound. I'm from this clan, and I belong to this clan. And our relationship started this way. And even in your word, Honolulu, in my language, it means to be mindful of something great and mindful of something that will hurt if we're not proper in doing things. And just as I was talking and sharing the similarities, I see this elder coming toward me. And so I'm rushing through my word, and I'm trying to get off stage so I will give him the space. And he came and hold me on my shoulder like that. And I was like, oh, don't know what to say. And he said, I am ashamed that a woman is standing here without no warriors, speaking for peace, which is our presence of women is that of peace, and yet there was no warriors standing next to me. So he explained that, and I am standing here to be your protector and defender in everything that you do. And so from that day forward, I'm honored to say that it is Tamana Poli who gave us that word, that we used to be masters of the current, but we are slave to the currency, and reminded us what it really means to be grounded in our cultures and in our tradition. It doesn't matter who got it first, because in reality, all of us are only stewarding what is given to us by the Maker. And so if we keep fighting over who has it first, who has it after, it just loses the whole point that we are all brothers and sisters. And so the men are protectors and defenders of the land. Who are the land? We women are the land. And so from that time forward, every time I will do something, I protocol and go look for those elders. Even coming here, I have to protocol my elders here to let them know, we're here on Saipan, we're gonna do this, because it's very important to do those proper protocols to your clans before you do things. So yeah, there is already so many doors open just by doing protocols. And when they were doing the Mauna Kea, if you see on social media, we were right in the middle of it. I cannot walk, but guess what? I track every kid that I know of to make sure that we represent, because we are all brothers and sisters. And they want to, stand together in solidarity.
Wow. These guys had a fairly long day. They had a lot of performances. I think we got a time for maybe, let's go to the back one more time and then over here.
Oh, and up here.
And then, okay, so
Up here.
3 more.
Okay, let's do 3 more. We're gonna go Mr. Hunter back there.
Mine's really quick. Thank you guys. Yeah, it was so awesome hearing everything and having all this. But my question or my comment is more towards the Humanities Council or any other groups out here. Will it be possible to get them out here very soon to see the entire production? Because it's something that I think is not just important in the U.S. and in Hawaii and in Guam and everything, but it resonates here as well. And so I think it's really important, you guys going out to the school, thank you so much for doing that, reaching out to the kids. But if we could get a production, the full production out here, I think that would be wonderful. And just wanted to know if that was in the works or in the plans or what it would take to make that happen.
I used to work for them, I don't work for them anymore.
Yeah, Glenn, thank you so much for bringing that up. We just started talking about this. I'm Leo Pangilinan, the executive director.
I'm Leo Pangilinan, and
All right, great.
It's done.
Let's do it.
This is the magic show portion of the. We have doppelgangers in the house.
Really are brothers and sisters.
Yeah. So, I just met them, and but that's not to say that I don't feel any less connected to what they're sharing here with us today, and the impact. I see the potential impact of their performances and their storytelling. It's so powerful, even just this excerpt that you shared with us. And I think Leilani mentioned a little bit that part of their process is meeting us in this way and in other ways to collect stories in every location that they go to perform. And I'm excited that we're sharing space with them here tonight, that they've shared space at the high school, Cagnan High School, Hupwood Junior High School, and it's part of their process. And I definitely want to support that. I definitely want you to come back, not just to perform Masters of the Current as it was imagined beginning in 2013, capturing what that looked like, what that felt like in that period of time in Hawaii, because there's a lot of connections there, but more so excited about the stories that you're going to be able to integrate in the next iteration, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely I drank the Kool-Aid, Glenn. Yeah, we're going to find ways to get them back when they're ready. When they're ready. Thank you.
Real quick, we have one more question, I think, one or two. But as you guys know, right, like programming happens because of funding, and part of funding means collecting data. So some of the staff from the Humanities Council is passing out some surveys. Please fill those surveys out and then return them to Honora or the front desk, because it helps the Humanities Council make reports, which in turn helps them get funds. And one more question. Do you need the microphone?
I don't think I need the microphone, but I just want to thank each and every one of you for such a phenomenal performance tonight. I think I can relate to every single one of you growing up here on Saipan. I was born in Guam to a Saipanese mother and a Filipino father, but I grew up here on Saipan until I was 9. But yet I was discriminated against because I was half caste and I didn't speak either language. So my Chamorro side discriminated against me because I looked different, and my Filipino side discriminated against me because I didn't speak Tagalog. So when I moved to the States, I felt like you. When you got on the bus, I had no idea where I belonged. I didn't know who I was. And of course, I had a haole-looking brother who was accepted in an instant. But when first day I went to school, they told me I looked like I was hit with a pan. You know, so my insecurities started when I was really young. So I kind of pushed back being Micronesian, and I just wanted to be like everybody else. Like you said, you know, be the in crowd, play basketball, do all this thing. But as I grew up, it became a problem with my personality. And I think as I grew up, what you guys are doing now, our younger generation needs to hear it. Because I think, I'm speaking of my grandchildren, who are Palawan, Micronesian, Chamorro, Filipino, Tahitian, Marquesian, my friends' kids, Chukis. They have no idea what their nationalities are. And we don't know what they're going through. Because I know a lot of people are saying, don't wear your skirts, especially in Guam. You'll get beat up, or you'll get looked down upon. You know, I remember when Gideon was just a little kid, he came over and wanted to learn how to dance. And I felt ashamed because when I first moved back from the States after living overseas for 32 years, I didn't like Saipan. I didn't like being Chamorro. I hated Saipan. I wanted to go back to Seattle. And I cried every day for a year. And I wanted to go home. But I had to fall back in love with my island, fall back in love with my culture. I had to learn Chamorro. I had to learn Tagalog. I had to learn about my culture. I had to tell Auntie Frances Sablan, I don't know if I should be a part of FESPAC because I don't like Chamorro dances. they're boring. You know, I don't like my culture. So I had to be honest with myself first before I can fall in love with my culture again. And I had a dance school. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I think God brought it full circle, brought it back. And what you were saying about your parents, taking your parents, I really commend you guys for bringing it to Saipan, especially Saipan, because I think we have a lot of young children that just want to get out of here. They want to leave home and explore the world. Internet has all these things, but yet there's a lot of feelings inside and a lot of identity crisis that is happening inside their hearts, and they will experience that once they step off island, because I know Saipan is definitely different than Guam. Guam is definitely different than Hawaii. Hawaii is definitely different than stateside. And what you guys brought to the stage brought tears to my eyes, because I think our younger generation, like my niece and nephew back there, they know what it is to be able to go on the boat, go fishing with their dad. I mean, stuff like that brings back just the small things about their culture that we can keep a hold of, you know what I mean, and have pride in. But yet also have pride in being an American, but don't lose touch on who we are. Like you said, masters of the currents, you know. So I just want to thank you. I wish you guys can stay here on Saipan for a while, you know, even longer, you know, and teach at our schools. We definitely need that. I think Gideon is definitely, I'm so proud of him because he left Island very young and he went after his dream and he became a performing arts major and he did it. He's one of our, you know, one of the things that we look up to, because a lot of times our children move to the States and they don't finish school. And it's sad because we all get caught up and we need to work and make money. And yet you guys brought it back and said, you know, we need to have pride on who we are and we can do it. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for that. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for this experience, and one of my friends who I met through performance in Guam just very recently said, theater changes lives, and I know what you're doing has changed and continue to change lives, bring positive change. So thank you for your courage and your efforts, and I hope you continue to do theater and bring more of what you're doing to the whole world. Thank you so much.
I just want to say one thing before we close out. I really believe in the role of artists for social justice and social change, and working with other artists. I mean, I think the conversation about the Micronesian community and the Native Hawaiians is very deep to me too, because I'm not Native Hawaiian and I have a Native Hawaiian name, and I claim Hawaii as my identity. But I think I really, I can't claim as an artist that one play could solve everything, but I do think that as artists, our roles can be to create dialogue, to get people to be more empathetic, to understand a different side of the story that they might not have been thinking about. So I firmly believe in the role of artists, and especially I'm a little biased towards theater, to create discussion, to change lives for positivity. But at the end of the day, we're asking the audience then to take responsibility, because we know we can't change it. We are just here to help amplify and reflect what's out there in hopefully an entertaining way. And always with our shows, especially this one, there's a lot, it's a deep topic, and we go there, but there's laughter, there's tears, there's anger, and we hope that we send our audiences out there wanting to look at the world a bit differently and hopefully have dialogue and hopefully work together for change. And we know that even when we performed it on the continent, we've had we've had Latino and Latino folks come up to us and say, this is exactly what's going on in our community. It's been amazing to see how this is reflected even outside the Micronesian community. And then also to see other like Native Hawaiians that came to our show at USC, and they were just so upset about not, that Papa Mao wasn't getting recognition that he should, and that Papa Mao wouldn't want the discrimination happening against the Micronesian community. And I even ran into Nainoa Thomas, or Thompson, we ran into him when we were in San Francisco, and he's like, thank you for the work you're doing. And so, we hope that we're just part of the progressive progress towards change and understanding so that we can work together. Because like the place says, we're all in the same boat. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to Leilani, and I think Auntie here also mentioned, this has also opened up dialogue even between us, Micronesians. When we were in LA, we had was it a Chamorro brother or sister that also shared just also what's going on between ourselves, Micronesians.
All right. With that, I know we're gonna break a little early, but it's okay. I'm sure these guys would like to go to dinner.